Well folks, how are yous? Dean Doherty the Greaser here, and today we're not in the workshop repairing tools. Today we're out in the garden testing out robotic lawnmowers. This here is a brand new robotic lawnmower sent in from Mammotion. This is their brand new mini series Luba. So as you remember, last year we done reviews on these two machines, the Yuka and the Luba 2. They've now this year taken out two brand new mini series lawnmowers, basically mini versions of these two machines here that work out at a better price and better suited to smaller areas. So this one here is the Luba Mini, basically the exact same as this machine here, an all-terrain four-wheel drive mower that can handle steep slopes. But this one is basically a more compact size. It's going to be more agile, better price, and can be more suited to smaller areas. So we're going to get her out of the box, get a look at everything, see what actually comes with it, then we'll get it put together, get it all set up, and we'll get a wee test out in a few different environments and see what she's like, and compare it to the Luba 2, which I must say is a fantastic machine. So let's get this thing out and see what she's like. Now, these machines are actually extremely well packed, and the boxes and packaging is something you want to hold on to in case you have to transport it anywhere, do anything, but also just for winter storage whenever you're putting them away at the end of the year after you've cleaned them all down. Very handy for storing everything away, so it's all kept together nice and neat, because everything is well packaged on here. As well utilise it. Your actual visual module. So this has to be bolted onto the top. This actually has your camera and all your sensors built in. Very nice. Now, to say I've been looking forward to this is a bit of an understatement. I actually really like the Luba 2, and I've been dying to see what the Luba Mini is going to be like. Because these things are very cool machines. And that does not disappoint. Look at this yoke. Look at this. Now the rest of the stuff then is your cable for your charging station, the charging station itself. And it's not just a rehash either, it's an actual new charging station for it. Now obviously with this being a mini robot, she's going to be smaller than the rest. Obviously the Yuka is a good bit bigger than the two of them, especially with the big grass bag and sweeper kit attached to it. But between the two Lubas, she's a good bit smaller actually. Didn't think she was going to be as small as what she is, but she's not overly small also. She's just a nice compact machine. Now I still had to put on the camera system and get it all set up. Just wanted to compare the two here first. Now, between the two, she's still got the same bumper at the front, which was a fantastic job. But the best thing is she still has the same front wheels. One of the things I like about Mammotion is they're constantly listening to the customers and actually doing what the customers want and taking on their recommendations on board. When the Luba first came out, they had four-wheel drive rubber wheels all around. They kept tearing up the lawn of the grass whenever they're actually turning. So customers are asking to do something about it, and they did. And they took on this here ingenious front wheel system. So the wheels actually turn independently, but then they have little rollers on top so she can turn easily sideways without tearing the grass as she goes. It's also fantastic grip as well, because these only go sideways obviously. It still has all the traction for going forward and back. And the new Luba Mini has the exact same system. Wee rubber rollers on the front to turn independently from the front wheels. So that can just turn on the spot without tearing up the grass. That there's a fantastic job. Now this is four-wheel drive, all-terrain. You're not going to get many other mowers on the market that can actually handle steep slopes like these here machines can, and that is the advantage of these here Lubas, and the Mini is the exact same. So she's four-wheel drive, all-terrain. Same as the big Luba, she still has independent suspension systems over here, so it doesn't matter what terrain she's going over, it can still handle it. Now the biggest difference between the two is actually on the underside. The Luba has two independent cutting discs, and it's actually covering a 40cm actual cut, so it's a good wide cutting area. Not many mowers in the market can actually take that size of a cut. On the Mini, it only has the one cutting deck, so one motor spinning one set of blades for actually cutting. This is only cutting a 20cm wide cut, half the size of the actual Luba, and it has 6 blades on it instead of the 2 4-blade one on the Luba as well. So more blades for better cutting. It's on a really good solid deck, and it's got a really nice rubber grommet up inside of here for keeping all the grass cuttings out. Also, if you look at the original Luba has got 2 metal brackets either side on the deck, which is great if it's going over rough terrain, whereas I found going over curbs or something like that there, nothing scraping on the deck, but grass can eventually build up inside of here, especially if it's cutting wet grass and start to clog and need to be cleaned out. The Mini has got nothing, it's totally open inside of here, so nothing for things to get caught up on and choke the machine, so going to be less maintenance on the likes of this one here, which is a great selling point. Now, there's a few good design changes on this as well. The Mini's actually sitting a little bit taller than the original Luba. You can see the actual bump guard here sitting higher, and that's mainly down to the actual suspension and the way the wheels are mounted here. And also a lot better handles for actually moving and transporting the machine around the place. Really big grips, so you can easily get a grip of it to move about. The best thing about this is actually on the back, the battery. This is a game changer for me. This is actually a removable battery system now. Not that the Luba you couldn't, but you had to do more dismantling to get into the Luba to change the battery. The Minis now have a separate battery compartment, so you can easily change out the battery if need be. So I want to just look at this thing first. Now, look at that. A 6 amp 25.4 volt Mammotion battery. So that's a very good idea. That's brilliant. That means even when this thing's long outside of the warranty, if it gets any battery trouble at all, you can easily just buy a new one and swap it out yourself. No need to be sending it to a service centre. Even has a little battery indicator on it as well though. That's fantastic. Look at that. Mammotion is really changing things up. It's even a nice wee rubber gasket seal, an O-ring type seal the whole way around as well, and then a rubber bump on the inside of the cover. That's fantastic. Couldn't be easier. Not many brands can boast that there. Right, let's go ahead and get this set up. There's a lot less setup involved in this mower as well compared to the last. Everything just plugs in, click and play, fold them over, put your camera on top. And that's the little Mini Luba set up and ready to go. Charging station, couldn't be easier to set it up. Plop it down, stick in a few spikes, plug it in, and you're good to go. And this wee perspex shroud then is actually for the charging station. It just clicks onto the front to keep the contacts under here covered. Now I also like this setup for the RTK station. This goes on top, and you can screw your RTK station onto this. So that's good. Good handy setup. If you want to put it in the ground, that's not a problem. But if you need more height, you can still use this here as well. This is what I like. Listen to the little fitting on the side. Turn the RTK station 90 degrees. So now this here can actually be used as the wall mount as well. So this serves two purposes, a ground mount and a wall mount. Stick this up in the gable of a house or somewhere up high to give them a lot better coverage, so you can increase the range of your machine. This thing could honestly not be easier to set up. Now on this particular one, the 1500, you can program in 15 different cutting areas. Now there's two versions of these available. On the Luba Mini, there's the 800 and the 1500, and the Yuka Mini as well. I think there's two versions as well. They're both identical, the 800 and the 15, the exact same machine. There's nothing different about them whatsoever. There's only two differences between them. One is the battery size. Obviously the 800 has a smaller battery. The 1500 then has a bigger one. The only other thing is the memory on main board for actually programming in your cutting areas. The 800, you can put in 10 programmable memories, as in 10 areas in your lawn to program in to cut. The 1500, you can put in 15 different areas. So they're the only two differences in the machines. That's for adjusting the cutting height. I've set it down to 35mm. So it'll take a little bit off, but not a massive amount. Now this is her starting now the very first cut. So I've turned off boundary, so it's just doing the lines and not doing the perimeter, but you can set that any which way you like. And you can also change the actual cutting height in the app as well as it's running. So as the likes of this one, it's actually not taking all that much off, so I'll actually just adjust it again, take it down a little bit further. Now as well, on the Luba, the lowest cutting height you can put on is 25mm. You can actually put the Luba Mini, this one here, all the way down to 20mm. So this will actually give you a shorter cut as well. Now obviously this is also a wire-free mower, just like all the Mammotion machines. There's no ground wire needed around the boundary of the garden. To program in a boundary, all you have to do is just drive the mower manually around the boundary of your garden, and it'll actually save that area itself. So that's what the actual 15 different areas are for, that you can use on this here 1500 machine. It'll actually save up to 15 different areas in your garden. Now this particular one actually does have a new feature, smart boundary detection. So you can actually just leave the mower, the Luba Mini, to map out the garden all on its own. You don't have to drive it around yourself at all, but that does take a little bit of extra time. So here I've actually just mapped out the garden myself manually, because it's a lot faster and you can get the machine up and running a lot quicker. Now you'll also notice in this clip the way the mower actually was cutting at a different angle. That's because it automatically changes the angle of the cut, so it doesn't keep going over the lawn at the exact same angle. It varies it a little bit with every cut, which is a nice feature. Now the actual finish on the lawn is fantastic. Barely a blade missed. So it does a great job of actually cutting. It's as neat and as flat. Now here I actually took it back out to the park area, which is all overgrown, to test out the pattern feature, to actually put patterns into the lawn itself and to actually test the capability of the motor. And this here longer rough grass. So here I actually mapped out a new area in this park and actually wrote the word Luba in that area. So it actually cut out the word Luba into the actual grass. That's why it's running a little bit slower here, because it's actually just starting to write the word Luba. It moves so much and then does a turn to get each letter. We'll start this and then continue on to actually mow the whole area out. Now this park isn't as badly overgrown as it was whenever I was testing the Luba last year. It's only March here, so the grass is only starting to grow, but it was still quite long and a wee bit of work for this machine, but it still handled it no problem. Now, to give you a perspective, this park here isn't cut with a lawnmower. It's actually a tractor comes in to cut this here, so it's fairly rough and very uneven, especially around the edges where cars have been driving on it. It's very rugged, and as you can see the way the mower's actually going up and down here, quite bumpy, but it still handled it no problem at all. So this is how much it actually got cut on one charge. It actually got the word Luba written out and nearly got the whole thing done, apart from the last little bit at the end near the A, and then it had to go back in to recharge. But once it actually recharges and it comes back out the exact same spot, Just continues on cutting as if it hadn't stopped at all. Now, thanks to the all-wheel drive, this thing has no problem driving over anything, as you can see here. And that's even when you give the controls over to the kids and let them drive it around for a little while. Now, as for slopes with this thing, I think it has it licked. Hills and slopes are just no problem to this Luba Mini. Handled them with ease. It'll probably tip over before it's actually going to be stopped by this here. You can hear beeping a few times here as it actually thinks it's been tipped over. But still, it keeps on climbing. Now this isn't even a lawn, this is an embankment. And really, a lawnmower should not be able to get up this thing. But still, this thing got up no problem. Now obviously I had to get it out at night time to test out the LED light at the front of it, the wee headlamp. Great wee feature this is. I actually love this here. Be able to put the mower out at night time and actually see what it's doing.
Front wheel lifted. The robot tilted. Working paused. Continue working. The front wheel lifted.
So there you have it, folks. The Luba Mini from Mammotion. And I have to say, what a cracking wee machine it is. I mean, the capability of this thing is just unreal. The places this thing can go with such ease is unbelievable. But also, just the design of it, the actual look of the machine. She does look absolutely fantastic. It's a cracking looking mower. I like the new design and the way there's less white on it. The Luba, there was a lot of white. It looked good, definitely did stand out, but when she's running for a long period of time, can get a wee bit dirty. I like the fact this one has got more black on it, just apart from the white tops and the fronts. It still has that Mammotion Luba look, but the black does help disguise a wee bit of the dirt and grass as it builds up when she's actually running. So I do like the new design look for the machine. Function of it, what can you say? This thing's just amazing. There's nowhere it doesn't want to go. Rough ground, uneven ground, slope ground. It's just going over it without any problem at all. The slope lawn I took it on, it's a bit of a push to put a lawnmower up that, pushing it by hand. This here thing just straight up and down, not a problem, not a bother to it, didn't even slow down or nothing. Brilliant performance that way. But the big incline I took it to, and all that rough ground, I was convinced this thing was going to tip over. Not a bother. Drove right the way up to the top, which was about a 10 or 12 foot climb. Done a wee turn, straight back down, up and down. No bother at all to it. I mean, if it was any steeper, the thing would have tipped over. But still, it kept on going. There was one point off camera where I did get to the top and she took into a wee divot and she shut down to say it was tipped over. So it actually went that steep. It thought it was actually lifted up and tipped. Apart from that there, absolutely amazing performance. The cut on it, the way she finishes off the lawn, brilliant. I love the way she's able to get down to 20 mil now. 25 was sometimes leaving it a little bit long for me. I like a good short cut in the lawn, so the 20 mil cutting height is fantastic. The underside, I do like the completely open underside on it. A lot handier and a lot less debris is going to get caught up on it. But you still have the sides here. These are still basically a part of the deck. So if this is running and she's going over a curb or something, it's still going to scrape on top of these here before it scrapes on the actual cutting blades here. Very good setup, but still all the way open, so everything can just get pushed out the back. Nothing's going to clog up, and anything that does clog up is just going to eventually wear off and drop out. Nothing's getting caught up on here. The actual cutting discs, they're far enough in, and the edges from the edge of the mower, that even if you were to reach under, you're not going to get caught on the blades. There's a nice distance there to keep things nice and safe, especially little hands that might come over and stick their hand underneath. Just talking of little hands, another wee thing I do like about it is the little pass key on them. This wee safety key you can pull out, so if you're going away and you don't want your wains over messing with it, you can pop it out and actually stop them from being able to use the mower. What I do like about these Mammotion mowers is the way Mammotion are actually listening to their customers. They seem to be really paying attention and putting features into the mower that people are asking for. Like from the first iteration, putting a camera into the front so you can view what's happening on your phone. So now you're having an LED light at the front to light up the garden. But the biggest thing has to be in the back. The fact that this thing has a replaceable battery now is just brilliant. Not that any of the other mowers you can't replace the battery in them, but there's a bit of stripping down to do it. Not something you're going to do at home. These here at the end of the day are cordless tools, and like any cordless tool, you're eventually going to have to replace the battery after so many years of use. At least with a replacement battery here, a customer at home can easily just pop off this cover and replace the battery themselves. No hassle of sending it away to a specialist agent or extra labour cost. They can buy the battery and stick them on themselves, no problem at all. It means you can use your mower or keep it running for a lot longer into the future. There's one less thing to worry about, and I would say a lot of other brands will be following suit with us here and getting replacement batteries on. The fact that Mammotion are actually putting a replacement battery like that there under this thing just shows you how much they're listening to their customers. I mean, if you even just look at the Luba 2, it's a big expensive machine, 4-wheel drive for big gardens or big areas that are sloped or uneven, that is just capable of mowing anything, but it's expensive and they're for big gardens. And I imagine a lot of people were looking for the same thing for smaller gardens. So Mammotion follow suit and actually take out a Luba Mini. The exact same as the Luba 2, exact same wheels and setup, drive and capability, but smaller, more compact, easier to manage, it's more space saving and a smaller price tag for a smaller garden. I mean, come on, they're definitely looking after their customers. If you have a smaller garden and you can't afford the Luba 2, or it's just your garden's not big enough to justify it, you can still get something like this here, a Luba Mini, just as capable as the Luba 2. This thing can just go anywhere you want it to go. Sloped, uneven, lumps, bumps, rough terrain. This here is able to handle it basically. And on top of that, they still have the Yucca Mini as well. Another new mower they have out. more suited to smaller urban gardens, so nothing to do with sloped lawns or uneven ground, just people who have a nice, small, neat garden and just want a good small mower for it. They have taken out now the Luba Mini, which is just a wee small compact mower for urban gardens, and they've also upgraded the Luba 2 as well. So Mammotion have plenty of things out and plenty more coming out, and I will be actually looking at the Luba Mini and the new and improved Luba 2 at some stage, so stay tuned to see them as well. But that's it, folks, the brand new Luba Mini from Mammotion, a machine that I have to say absolutely love, and will be putting to more work here. Fantastic machine. Check them out if you have a garden that you're having difficulty mowing and you want a robotic mower for it. Either the Luba 2 or the Luba Mini is going to suit you, whether it's a big garden or now a small garden. You're well covered with Mammotion. Check them out, folks, the Mammotion Mini. You won't be disappointed with this thing.